Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship arrives in sunny Northland for the 2021 International Rally of Whangarei, presented by Mark Cromie Motor Group. Stages that have hosted the stars of WRC past will now host the top talent in New Zealand rallying. The rally started on Te Mato Apohi Bridge, with the public mixing with the drivers before two stages under lights at Roy Island. 16 four-wheel drive cars competing this weekend for the New Zealand Championship. Starting first, the Hyundai i20 of Hayden Paddon, Ben Hunt defending champion in his Subaru, Emma Gilmore at 3 in her Suzuki, then Rana Horan in the Skoda. Canterbury drivers Robbie Stokes and Matt Summerfield line up at 5 and 6. Jack Hawkswood in the Mazda 7th, with Holden driver Josh Marston in 8th, ahead of Regan Ross and Kingsley Jones. Todd Borden leads the older Class 1A cars in his Mitsubishi Evo. Matt Jensen joins the championship in another Mazda, ahead of the second 1A car of Matt Adams. Hayden McKenzie in his Evo 10, first time for him on these stages. Duncan McCrosty in another Mazda 2, ahead of Brian Green and Jono Shapley. But disaster for Josh Marston when the RDL Barina lost fuel pressure in the start area. Josh left to walk over the start line and take maximum penalties. Meanwhile, the competitors were enjoying a dust-free run through the stages under lights. Hayden Paddon 3.7 seconds ahead of Robbie Stokes after the two stages, with just under 12 seconds separating the top 10.
And at the other end of the scale, Josh Marston, as per the Motorsport New Zealand rules, cops a time that's 7 minutes slower than Hayden for not completing the super special stage. There's 2 passes, so that's a huge deficit to make up. It's a case of, you can't win a rally on a super special stage, but you can certainly lose it.
Keep left, 6 right cut. Braking 30. Here smooth. Long 6 left cut and 5 off. Don't. 30.
Perfect conditions greeted the drivers as they arrived at the service park on Saturday morning.
Rally Whangarei for me is all about the roads.
The roads up in Whangarei are pretty awesome.
You don't see anywhere in the world like this, with the camber and the speeds that you can carry through those cambers. There's really no other feeling like it.
Despite a few problems at Otago,
We still had an awesome rally.
We'll come back fighting
to get more points in the bag this weekend.
2 loops of 4 stages make up the Saturday leg of Rally Whangarei, starting with the challenging Helena Bay stage, then Tāpui at 17 kilometres long, before a refuel, and then on to Marlow, this year running in reverse, then 16 kilometres of Crow's Nest, before a service back in Whangarei. Light rain over the previous days, meaning little dust and perfect conditions for the opening cars. First on the road, Hayden Paddon, and a pace setting 9 minutes 48, showing just how quick he can be.
And this is quite a famous corner that's caught many out before, but Hayden's just attacking with so much confidence, he makes it look easy.
Ben Hunt next in the Hydraulic Subaru, but he was 44 seconds down on Hayden, losing 3 seconds a kilometre.
And although this is one of Ben's favourite stages in the country, he knows just how much this stage can bite. So it's a big confidence builder for him to get through here cleanly.
Robbie Stokes was the second fastest on the stage, but even he was 36 seconds down on Paddon.
There's a bit of sunstrike there, but Robbie is absolutely on a charge. Fantastic start from him in the morning.
Josh Marston faced an impossible task of incurring 16 minutes penalties, but third fastest on the stage. Matt Summerfield in the Andrew Sims Mitsubishi moved up to 4th overall on the stage. Moving 1 place ahead of Rana Horan, who returns to the Rally Championships after missing the first round with a rib injury.
And you'd certainly be hard-pressed to think that Rana's been out of the car for 6 months, let alone driving with an injury.
Emma Gilmore also moving up on this stage to lie 6th, just 4 seconds back from Horan.
And Emma's picking up on that speed we saw her show in Otago. Let's just hope her luck can change.
30, 4 right minus. 4 right minus this one, sudden 3 left.
First of the older Cat 1A cars, Todd Borden, just 2.3 seconds behind Gilmore in his Evo 6. Regan Ross 8th in the Virgin White Fiesta.
And for Regan, it's a great chance to get on some roads that probably suit the factory-built R5 car just that little bit better.
Matt Adams in the second 1A car, holding down 9th. Hayden McKenzie is a 2 times Targa NZ winner, but this is just his first time on the gravel highways of the north. Kingsley Jones has previously crashed off the road and spun at the finish of Helena, so why change? This spin costing him 13 seconds.
And those are seconds that are just going to be so hard for Kingsley to get back on a rally he was targeting.
Jack Hawkswood made a promising start to the rally. It was going really well until this happened.
5 left flush.
We've got to play tyre.
5 right. Open.
Puncture, that's so disappointing for Jack. He showed so much promise on the super special stage and was going to be a real contender, but these will be precious minutes that just slip away.
Flat 6 right. Cut. Yep.
Fucking Jesus.
Unfortunately, they weren't able to change the tyre, so he was forced to limp out behind Matt Jensen, who was also having a misfire. So despite passing Hawkswood, he was frustrated by his pace in the Mazda.
And unfortunately, it rounds out a really tough start to the day for the Mazda team.
Jack, obviously not what you want to be talking to us about, but obviously some sort of drama. Talk us through it, mate.
Yeah, we picked up a flat tyre in the middle of the stage there somewhere, and someone had just dragged out quite a large rock off the side of the road, and we came around the blind corner and just collected it with the front wheel. And then we jumped out to change it, and there's been a bit of a mix-up with our service crew. They put the wrong jack in the wrong car, so it doesn't fit in the hole, so we can't jack the car up to change the wheel. So we've had to try and tour all the way out, and somewhere on the way out there we've understeered into another bank, and now the other front tyre's going flat as well. So we're in a fucking bit of a world of drama at the moment.
Stage 4 Tapuhi, a classic Whangarei stage that's produced some great battles over the years. Paddon's time of 11 minutes 33, shy of his stage record, but still dominant.
Hayden, how was that, mate? Not too slippery with the overnight rain?
It's not too bad. The grip's obviously quite good in places. There's a couple of places on the downhill where the braking's a little bit slipperier, but in general it's pretty good, but it's drying out very, very fast. So, you know, a bit of time management will come in this loop as well still.
Ben Hunt, second fastest on the stage, that helping him to close up on second place Robbie Stokes, the gap just 11.5 seconds. Emma Gilmore also improving, third fastest and just 0.1 down on Hunt, moving to fifth overall, 2.5 behind Rana Horan. Jack Hawkswood had a good run through the stage, but had to change another puncture pre-stage, picked up a 30-second time penalty. Todd Borden was in 7th, but dropped a spot with this spin at the spectator junction.
Co-driver Paul Berbera insistent he said left.
A fuel stop at Hikarangi, giving the drivers time to mix with the locals, before heading to stage 5, Crow's Nest. As the roads dried out, Paddon finally able to challenge his own stage records, shaving 5.7 seconds off the record here.
And you can certainly see that road surface is drying out. It's really going to produce some fast time second time through.
In the battle for second, Robbie Stokes was faster than Ben Hunt by 2.2 seconds, so that gap moving out to 14 seconds.
Robbie's certainly emerging as the new kid on the block that's really going to take it to the established likes of Hunt and Paddon. Just check that speed over the bridge.
But Hunt showing determination to hang on to the back of the AP4 Fiesta, which is more suited to these roads than his hydraulic Subaru. After her third fastest time on stage 4, Emma Gilmore was looking to challenge for the podium.
6 right fast. Repeat, 6 right fast. 90.
Yeah, she's certainly on the pace here.
Fast. 50.
Man, that was a big explosion. That's frightening at those kind of speeds, and unfortunately, it's terminal.
No.
No, a drive line or something, is it? Drive shaft.
Shaft, isn't it?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there was no chance of repair, so her rally was over.
Gearbox, isn't it?
Yep.
But she wasn't alone in retiring. Jack Hawkswood had lost 5 minutes with a stage 4 puncture and lost another 30 seconds changing a second puncture before special stage 4. He was on a charge to make up some of that time, but shortly after the spectator point on stage 5, his rally was over. 7 times over, in fact.
The fact these guys were able to walk away relatively unscathed is just a modern miracle.
But not all bad news on the stage. Rana Horan cementing his 4th place, and still very much in touch with Hunt. Matt Summerfield now up to 5th in the Mitsubishi.
And it just shows how competitive this field is. He's not that far off what should be a podium position.
And Regan Ross starting to find pace in the Virgin White Ford Fiesta. Kingsley Jones also starting to progress. These R5 cars like the Skoda and Fiesta, down on top speed compared to the AP4 cars, they go better on some of the tighter stages. Hayden McKenzie improving on every stage in his Evo 10. This car's certainly not lightweight, but McKenzie using the opportunity to gain experience. Todd Borden still leading Class 1A for the older cars. Matt Adams just 45 seconds back, but that would all change on special stage 6. Marlow was run in reverse direction this year, and a crest just 700 metres into the stage would prove to be Adams' undoing.
Yeah, it was only a very small mistake, but he just didn't keep far enough left.
A monster crash, leaving the car wrecked, and co-driver Lisa Hudson taken to hospital by Northland Helicopter Rescue. Battles all through the field, not just up front. Duncan McCrosty in his 2nd rally in the ex-Hawkswood Mazda 2, 9th by the end of the morning. Also in an ex-Hawkswood Mazda, Matt Jensen. This his 1st rally in the car, but a misfire and puncture holding back his progress. Jono Shapley didn't start round 1 after a mechanical failure on the way to the 1st stage, but doing much better here, partnered with the experienced co-driver Crunch Bennett, 11th after the morning stages and in a tussle with rally veteran Brian Green. Green running his stunning new Mirage AP4 car, near close to within 2 seconds of Shapley.
And it's great to see the flames out the back of the car this time.
Josh Marston with an uphill battle to get points today after his disastrous start last night.
So it's Paddon that leads the field after the morning loop. Robbie Stokes in 2nd, Ben Hunt, Rana Horan, Matt Summerfield, Regan Ross, Todd Borden and Kingsley Jones rounding out the top 8. Hayden McKenzie, a great driver, 9th. Obviously Matt Adams now out of the rally, putting Duncan McCrosty into the top 10.
Stages repeated in the afternoon, which includes the power stage on stage 10. Hayden Paddon again dominating the stages, 5 seconds quicker than the morning run on Helena. On stage 8, Tapua, he was 22 seconds faster than the next car. But behind the ex-WRC driver, the competition was much closer. Robbie Stokes was holding off Ben Hunt for 2nd, the gap down to 5.1 seconds. But he stopped just 5 kilometres into the next stage.
And it turns out that Robbie and Amy have been finding water sources all around the countryside all morning, unfortunately.
Yeah, going really good. Just the simple as just the car got hot, so yeah, it just wouldn't drop the temperature, so we just decided to pull out before we did any more damage.
Runner Horan should have moved to third, but a late checkout of service had him penalised an extra minute and a half. He made up for it with second fastest time on stage 8. That was enough to move him back to fourth.
And a simple mathematical error certainly seen Rana driving angry.
Ben Hunt was now second overall with Stokes' demise. Ahead of a hard-charging Matt Summerfield, now in third. Todd Borden, the only contender in 1A now, up to 5th overall.
It's a great effort in the old car.
But Kingsley Jones just 0.2 behind the Auckland Denture Clinic R5 Skoda. Hayden McKenzie also moving up, now 7th as he grew confident on the stages on his second run through.
And you can see Hayden's confidence growing in the way he turns the car into the corner. It's a lot more aggressive than he was at Otago.
But with brake problems, Regan Ross was losing time. Trying to fix the problem pre-stage, he picked up a 20-second time penalty for lateness. After a frustrating morning, Matt Jensen getting on top of his misfire, now 9th, ahead of Duncan McCrosty.
And there's a lot of adjustment for Matt still to do, going from the production-based car into an AP4 car.
And Brian Green now in 11th.
Great to see Greenie out and going so well.
Jono Shapley stopped in stage 7, losing 7 minutes. He was back on track in stage 8, but was to lose the final spot to Josh Marston, who'd been fighting back through the field after starting the day dead last.
And what will really encourage the team is the car speed has been a huge step up.
Hayden Paddon clean sweeping the stages on leg 1. Not quite the clutch of stage records that he was looking for, but a very good performance with no issues.
Yeah, we had a bit of a push in there and were able to get our stage record on the first pass, so that was quite nice. So yeah, trying to enjoy it. A few setup tweaks needed because just not quite getting the front of the car to do what I want to do at the moment, but it gives us something to work on at service.
Ben Hunt second, showing he's still in contention should Paddon have an issue. Rana Horan with a superb drive to third overall, taking the place off Matt Summerfield on the final power stage and picking up 4 power stage points. Summerfield just 18 seconds back though, so still in podium contention. A good day for Kingsley Jones, despite a couple of spins.
And just to show the importance of that driver-co-driver relationship, they were a little out of sync in the morning, and the times have come in the afternoon as they got their head round it.
Todd Borden looking set for a top finish, but his centre diff cried enough, meaning the Evo 10 of Hayden McKenzie would take 6th.
And it just shows what a cruel sport rallying can be. He was on for a good result, but that's the joys of rallying an older car. So Paddon leads after the opening day, Hunt second, huge battle between Rana Horan and Matt Summerfield for 3rd and 4th. Kingsley Jones a consistent day to 5th, just ahead of Hayden McKenzie. Regan Ross recovering from those brake problems in 7th, Matt Jensen likewise in 8th. Duncan McCrosty doing everything he needs to do in 9th, just ahead of Brian Green. Josh Marston on the fight back in 11th, getting ahead of Jono Shapley.
Day 2 in Whangarei, fine but misty, making for great pictures, but challenging conditions for the drivers, with sunstrike a real possibility. 4 stages south of Whangarei, repeated twice. Tangihua, 15 kilometres long. Waiatera, 16 kilometres. And an 8 kilometre version of the famous Millbrook, finishing with the daunting Waipu Caves. New day, new points on offer for League 2, and Paddon wasting no time. Fastest over the opening 2 stages, seemingly not worried by the conditions.
That visibility is just terrible with a combination of sunstrike and dust. Hayden just commits to his notes, and this is where he's got his biggest advantage. Just look at the way he dances the car over the cambers. These roads in Whangarei are just spectacular.
Yeah, it sums up New Zealand rallying perfectly, really. We've got all the beauty of the nature. So nice stage. Like you say, there's a lot of change in circumstances, but yeah, it's just an awesome piece of road to drive. All today's stages are. So just really enjoying it.
Runner Horan starting the day on a mission, second fastest on the morning stages, but not by much.
And when you look at the times, if you take out the 1.5-minute time penalty, he starts less than 2 seconds behind Ben Hunt.
Matt Summerfield, third on stage 11, but on special stage 12, he dropped to 4th behind Josh Marston at just half a second.
And on day 2, there's bonus points available, which are really crucial, especially for Josh.
4 right plus.
That was a moment.
Short 5 right 20. 4 right minus 10. Slow 3 left minus 50.
And this becomes a fresh start for Josh Marston. He's got to put the frustration of League 1 behind him and aim for as many bonus points as possible.
Struggling through the morning, Ben Hunt, reigning champ, only 6th on stage, but it wasn't too bad as he was within 10 seconds of second place Horan, still held second overall in the rally.
And given his position in the rally, he doesn't need to do anything heroic. He just needs to bring it home and bank those points that he missed out on in Dunedin.
Yeah, between the fog and the sunstrike and the change in temperature and the heater screen having to work flat out, it was a pretty challenging stage.
Battle for 6th, a 3-way tie between Kingsley Jones' Skoda, Regan Ross's Ford, and Hayden McKenzie in the Mitsubishi. Jones holding off the Fiesta by 10 seconds. Ross had new brake pads, but they were slightly rubbing on the calipers. It was only a minor issue.
He's certainly got a lot more confidence than he would have had yesterday with 0 brake pedal.
Hayden McKenzie right with Ross, just 0.8 of a second back, and really starting to show true gravel speed.
And when we look at Hayden's career, we'll look back at this as a breakout weekend. And exciting news too, because he has a Toyota AP4 car on the way, potentially at the end of this season.
5 left, 4 left. Then a 4 right, 30. 7 left, 7 right, 5 left.
Matt Jensen finally had an engine that was running on all 4 cylinders, 9th overall on the opening stages.
And just check the difference in confidence. This is Matt's first time in a new car and obviously a significant investment. And when he can't see where he's going, he's forced to back right off. You look at Hayden Paddon, he's 100% committed.
Duncan McCrosty also struggling for vision here.
And he won't want the bill on the lease if he bins it.
Jono Shapley rounding out the field for the first 2 morning stages. Stage 13, Millbrook, a favourite roller coaster 8-kilometre super sprint of a stage. It's 2019 record, 4 minutes 29.9. This run, 4 minutes 29.9. Josh Marston once again second fastest, and the all-important League 2 points that would move him 3rd, just 4.7 seconds behind Horan. The gold Skoda was fast, Horan finding the conditions slippery compared to day 1. Hunt moved ahead of Summerfield, yet just 0.1 of a second.
Switch 3 left plus 50.
You can see why this bit of road was an absolute favourite of the WRC stars in days gone by. Look at that camber, it's just spectacular.
6 left over small crest. 6 right 50.
Waipu Caves at 22.5 kilometres, the longest of the rally, and quite possibly the most challenging road of the north. Paddon's time, 12 minutes 20, just shy of a new record, but impressive nonetheless. Ben Hunt second fastest, and now putting real pressure on Marston in third, and Horan in second. Seems like experience coming into play here. This was an incredibly close battle now. Horan leading Marston by 3 seconds. Marston ahead of Hunt by 3 seconds. And Matt Summerfield just 6 seconds further back in 5th. In the Jones-McKenzie-Ross battle for 6th, Ross would get past McKenzie and was now 20 seconds behind Jones. But in the combined 2-leg rally result, it was McKenzie who was ahead.
And on a cresty, undulating road, in a heavy car like the Evo 10 compared to the R5 cars, it's a great drive.
Brian Green and Jono Shapley were forced to retire on this stage, so that just left Matt Jensen and Duncan McCrosty in the 2 Mazda AP4s to battle it out for 10th place.
And in those overall rally results, Hayden Paddon leads with just 4 stages to go. Ben Hunt and Rana Horan second and third, then Summerfield, Jones, McKenzie, Ross and Matt Jensen. Duncan McCrosty in 9th, and Josh Marston still fighting back, but 10th place points will be crucial.
Yeah, so far so good. First pass is really just a chance to get a look in. Obviously with the roads sweeping, gives us there's only so much we can do in the first pass. So we've been able to get quite close to the records, but obviously now look forward to the second pass and push on and see if we can try and get as many of them as we can.
Yeah, it was very challenging, between the fog and windows trying to fog up, and yeah, it was definitely challenging, and trying to pick your line was pretty difficult, but we got through, then we lost a bit of time, but we've been trying to claw it back all morning.
Yeah, trying to make up for it here. The penalty at lunchtime yesterday didn't help, but anyway, we were hard charging and motivated yesterday, so today's a bit different, but ragged today. I'm all over the shop. I've nearly binned the car once, so yeah, it's a good day, I guess.
The final 4-stage loop, and the mist had lifted, the sun was high in the sky. Paddon aiming to lower those stage records from the morning. Mission accomplished on stage 15, shaving 3.4 seconds off the time. You don't need to remind Ben Hunt that after breaking down on round 1, he needs every point he can from the remaining rallies. He charged past Josh Marston and Rana Horan to take second in the league standings, with just 2.6 seconds separating the 3 drivers. But Matt Summerfield would go no further after this.
And this is unfortunate for Matt. He grafted so hard to come back from the punches at Otago, and this is just gut-wrenching.
Oh, you alright? Something's broken. Oh!
He's done really well with little control to keep the car out of the scenery.
Go down the road.
Broken suspension sending him off the road, but without too much damage. Paddon would take more stage records on stage 16. While Hunt extended his lead over Horan and Marsden. Horan dropping to 4th on this stage. But it was the end of the rally for Matt Jensen. After battling electrical gremlins all rally, the car finally stopped on stage 16.
Disappointing for Matt, so much perseverance gone unrewarded.
So over the final 2 stages, Duncan McCrosty, the surviving Mazda 2 AP4, finishing 8th on day 2 and 7th over the 2 days. Marston having a scare when the car stopped on the final stage, but he got going and finished what had been a tough rally, 8th overall. Hayden McKenzie finished 7th on day 2 behind Regan Ross, but 5th over the 2 legs, a stunning result for the rookie. Regan Ross 6th on day 2, and overall, a few teething problems with the R5 Fiesta, but overall another strong result. Kingsley Jones 4th overall, and had shown strong pace over the 2 days against the other R5 cars. A great result for Rana Horan to take 3rd on his first rally of the year. Valuable points for him and a confidence boost going to round 3. Ben Hunt scored a stage win on the final stage on his way to 2nd on League 2 and overall. Again, an important points haul after not finishing the first round. A delaminated tyre put paid to Hayden Paddon's perfect ride to the finish, happening on stage 18 with 4Ks to run.
Oh yeah, we weren't expecting that. We're obviously trying to push on for a record, but nevertheless, the rally gods had other ideas. But all in all, still a good weekend. Doesn't take anything away from the result and the work that the team's done. So yeah, perfect start to the championship so far.
It was awesome day, and the roads are so much different than the road from yesterday, so it's a good mixture, and yeah, looking forward to heading to Timaruna.
Overall rally results, Hayden Paddon again dominant, Ben Hunt a great 2nd place, likewise for Rana Horan in 3rd. Kingsley Jones a solid 4th, just ahead of Hayden McKenzie, Regan Ross, Duncan McCrosty, Josh Marston.
Paddon leaves Whangarei with a 47-point lead over Josh Marston, Regan Ross on 40 points and Ben Hunt with 37. Next up, it's back to the stunning South Island, the South Canterbury Rally in the shadow of the magnificent Southern Alps. Watch out for our highlights of 2-wheel drive and the Rally Challenge coming soon on nzrc.tv. And if you like this, please subscribe.